money you're going to spend to make X amount of money. So he looked for a different way to do things. And Philip is a guy who figured it out. And I think he figured it out because of his affinity for Hawaiian t-shirts. And that's something I am uniquely qualified to judge him on. But he figured out this lead source is being one that he just took his investor hat off, put on a different hat, and approached these people in a completely different way, and found that they were very motivated sellers. They don't even negotiate on price a lot of the time, and for everybody, it creates a win-win because the kids are stressed, the parents are stressed, and you can come in as an investor and really create a win-win situation, but you got to know how to handle these people. You can't come in saying, I'm an investor and I work with old people, blah, blah. Nope. That will get you kicked out. This will not work for you if you're going to approach it like that. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So Philip, started, as I said, he started out his career just like everybody else, spending money on leads. But now, today, with this system, he's getting 400 leads a month, $0 in marketing cost. I mean, zero. He's not buying a single list, a single postcard, nothing, okay? He's going to show you how he does this because it's basically an infinite ROI. When you're spending nothing and making money, that's an infinite return on investment. So Philip's got something here that I just have to share with you guys. So on his deals, he's netting an average profit of $14,000, and he's doing 50 plus of these deals a year. So run those numbers in Google and your calculator, whatever, but he's pushing $750,000 with $0 in marketing. How does that sound? Sounds pretty crazy, right? Sounds hard to believe, right? I told you that at the beginning. So if you guys want to spend less on marketing, or nothing even, then pay attention today, okay? Because Philip's going to show you why he says 20 is plenty when it comes to your marketing. That's not even 20 bucks or nothing. So I think we're all going to want to take these notes because cutting business expenses and increasing revenue is something we all need to be doing. So Philip is going to show us now how to do this quickly, how to do it without a ton of headaches, and why you need to be paying attention to the senior transition specialist industry. Philip, enough about me. Are you ready to get going, man? Are you there?
Hi, yeah, I'm here. Thank you for having me on today. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm just going to lurk over here in the shadows in my nice Hawaiian shirt while you take it away, buddy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Philip Vincent with Mom's House, and today we're going to talk about becoming a senior transition specialist. I am Philip Vincent. I am a senior living transition expert. What does that mean? It means that everyone that's going to move into senior living, 50 million Americans over the next 20 years are going to live in some sort of long-term care. They're going to have to sell their house to move into senior living. And today we're going to talk about how the senior living industry, becoming a senior transition specialist, can give you the real estate career that you've always wanted. I've been around for over 25 years. I've been doing senior living for the past 12. I've been on a lot of podcasts and sharing this message, telling the world about what Mom's House is, what our mission is to help those people that are moving into senior living. From helping those people, if you can put the people first, there's tons of the best real estate deals that I've ever found right there behind it. And so today I want to share that with you. This is something that you can sink your teeth into. So take notes as much as you can. And I'm excited to be here and excited to share this with you. Today, I'm going to wipe out the notion that you have to spend thousands of dollars a month to have a successful real estate business. Almost everyone I talk to talks about direct response marketing, doing direct mail, doing pay-per-click, doing bandit signs, doing cold calling, doing text message blasting, all of these 100 different ways to get real estate deals. Today, we're going to talk about something different. We're going to talk about fishing in a pond where no one else is and where people want to work with us. And so I'm glad you're here. I'm going to wipe out that notion that you have to spend $5,000, $10,000 a month to be successful. You don't have to do that in real estate when you find the right niche. And so who is this for? This is for those real estate investors who, if this looks like your marketing budget, I'm sorry if that hits too close to home, but a lot of us have a marketing budget that it's like a dumpster fire. This is for real estate investors who are tired of the competition in your local market, burning up all your profits, making your marketing dollars get stretched so thin that you wonder to yourself, is it even worth it? I talk to so many people to say that the way they used to get deals don't work anymore. And so today I'm going to show you guys a way to work less hours and drive your marketing budget down to zero. And if I showed you that, would you take me up on that offer? That's the question that we're going to talk about today, becoming certified as a senior transition specialist. This is for people who don't want to work 90 hours a week. I know I definitely don't. I don't think people should brag that they work 90 hours a week. This is for people who want a lifestyle that includes working way, way less than 40 hours a week. Just because Henry Ford created the 40-hour work week doesn't mean that's what you have to do to be successful. In fact, I think with part-time hours, you can be successful in what we're going to talk about today. So if that's interesting to you, you can put people first. You like to work with people, you like real estate, and you want to work less than 40 hours a week, this is a great system for you. Here's the problem as I see it today in the real estate investor world. All real estate investors, we're all using the same marketing tactics, the things we talked about earlier. There's 100 different ways to do this. And it seems like everybody ends up doing direct mail, pay-per-click, bandit signs, cold calling, text message blasting, and everyone's eating from the same place, right? They're all trying to get the same scraps, and all it's doing is bringing the cost up, and that's cutting into your profits. And you ever feel like that you're only as good as your last marketing ad spend? What do I mean by that? I love to ask real estate investors, if you turned off your marketing today, how long would it be before no one ever called you again? And I know it's a sobering thought, because most people say probably past a week, I'll never get a call again. And so the reason why that is that you're not building something sustainable. You feel like you're only as good as your last marketing ad spend. And those things like direct mail do work if you never turn them off. And so you constantly stay on that wheel that you have to leave on, so that way you have a business coming to you. Today, we're going to talk about building something sustainable, something that comes directly to you. And it's not just any leads, but I'm going to show you today that they're really the best leads that I've ever found in real estate. 10 reasons, in fact, why these are the best leads. And so I'm excited to share that with you. Who is this training for today? This is for people that want to build a business that comes directly to them without all the competition that we see in all the other marketing channels. This is an email from someone that's called a placement agent. Guys, a placement agent is one of the 11 job titles that I want to teach you about that bring leads or deals, I call them families, directly to me. They bring me families and they introduce me and put me on a pedestal and say, Philip is the guy that takes care of this problem. He helps you unlock your equity so you can pay for that long-term care that you're putting your mother or your father into. And so I get a text or an email just like this all the time, where my leads, my families chase me. They get sent to me from people in senior living. So this is great for people that have a desire to do real estate, but have those families come directly to them. This is great for people that have a desire to help others while still making a great living. And guys, if you don't care about other people, this is not the right thing for you. Becoming a senior transition specialist, if you're very transactional and not loving, will not work for you. So if you do have love in your heart, this is a great business for good people. Now, for all my numbers people out there, like I love data and I love stats. People always hear what I do and they say, Phil, what a great little niche you're in. And I always get a big smile, because little is not even close to what this is. This is so massive that I would argue that this is real estate for the next 15 to 20 years. Let's go over some numbers. 70% of those turning 65 in our country are going to require some sort of long-term care before they pass away. So if you're working things like probate is a small niche. This is something that 7 out of 10 Americans over 65. And how many are there? There's over 53 million Americans already over 65. There's over 10,000 a day turning 65. And those are the people that are going to be selling their houses over the next 15 to 20 years. So this is something, if you sink your teeth in, it's going to be relevant for at least the next 15 years. Not that people will stop passing away in the next 15 years. It's that this silver tsunami, this giant wave of boomers are starting to move into senior living right now this year. That's when it's starting. Just because I've been doing it for over 10 years already, I was just ahead of the curve. That's why I've built this system. But just know you're not behind. It's getting ready to ramp up right now for the next 15 years. So things like Medicaid, people a lot of times think wrongly, I should point out, that Medicaid will pay for their long-term care. That's just simply not the way it is. For you to receive Medicaid, you have to be completely broke. In our state here, you have to have less than $4,997 in your bank account to be eligible for Medicaid. So basically, you have to be completely broke. So things like the house will need to be sold. They have to be spent down, or it's called spend down, before you're eligible for those things. And so that's the idea here, guys. We're talking about a real estate lead source today that is coming from senior living. These families have to sell their houses. There's about 8,200 houses like this a day. They're going to be sold in that pre-probate world where they haven't passed away yet. They're moving into senior living. And so I'm Philip. I've been doing this business for well over 20 years now. and I've done everything from development all the way to wholesaling. I kind of did this business backwards, but I've never seen anything as simple or as profitable or as big as becoming a senior transition specialist. And the reason why is because of the lifestyle that it's created for me. I work very few hours. The leads chase me. I work with people that want to work with me. And it's, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, your brain switches when you only start to work with people that want to work with you. Instead of trying to convince someone to sell, I'm literally waiting for them to raise their hand and say, Philip, it's time for me to sell my mom's house. Can you help me with this? And I want to be clear for everyone listening right now. You don't have to have 10 years of real estate experience. You don't have to have a real estate license to do what we're talking about. To be able to go out and help these families and their senior parents or the senior themselves, you don't have to have a real estate license and you don't have to have real estate experience. We will train you on that. In fact, it's easy for me to train you on the real estate side. I'm looking for people that have the right heart condition, that want to go out and network in senior living, build relationships with the right people, so that way you can have the leads chase you. We keep reading all the time that there's no inventory, right? There's no inventory at all. Yet the Wall Street Journal put out an article that said, okay, Boomer, who's going to buy your 21 million houses? Guys, this wave is now. I hope you know that if you do this right, you're going to be buying this stream of 21 million houses over the next 20 years. This is where we're going to be buying houses from. And so I hope that you know that if you do this right, you're going to be in that stream of houses being sold. And I want to be clear, if you don't take me seriously on this, you will be buying houses from people that did take this training seriously, because this is where real estate comes from. What do I mean by that is I want you to think right now about the last 5 houses you bought. Tell me, what was the average age of the person you bought from? Almost everybody says 81, 72, 90. And very rarely is it ever, oh, the guy was 28 years old. It's very rarely. It's almost always seniors anyway. And if you really think about it, that's who has equity in their home. That's who needs to sell because of some life event. And so I'm telling you that this is bigger than anything that you've worked on. Let's get this straight. There's no inventory yet. There's 21 million boomers over the next 20 years. They're going to have to sell their house. That's over 1 million opportunities a year. I can't buy 1 million houses, but with Mom's House, we're sure going to try. And that's why I need your help. That's why I love this industry. And guys, if you don't take me up on this, this is fine. You can continue to do the way that you've been doing. You can continue to fight, fish in the same pond that every other investor is doing. This is something different. I talk to investors every day, and they're like, Phil, where can I fish where no one else is fishing? This is it. And so if you don't change, you will always have those old results. And I want to talk to you guys about something that you can change your life with, you can sink your teeth into for the next 15 to 20 years. What I like about it is that there's not much competition with what we do. Investors don't take the time to even learn about this industry. They don't take the time to build these relationships. When people do talk about senior living and real estate, so far what I've heard is people talking about taking a single family home and turning it into a residential assisted living community. Guys, that's a great business. That is not what we're talking about today. But yet everyone that moves into that residential assisted living community, whether it's a small or a big box community, all of those people live in housing now. They have to sell that housing before they move into senior living to pay for the care. It's a little new niche that's hidden in plain sight. It's one of those things that's very shocking when I teach you how to go out and discover how much opportunity is around you. People always get this big smile on their face because they're like, man, I didn't realize how many senior living communities were right around where you live right now today. In my own market, I have over 300 communities. And in the past 10 years, I've built relationships with about 10 of them. So in my own small, or I'd say mid-market metro area, I know 10 of the 300 communities. And that's how big this opportunity is. It's hidden in plain sight. It's all around us. And I'm going to teach you today, guys, that real estate agents are usually not the best option for the families. And that's where Mom's House comes in. So this is for people who want to get a clear plan on how to invest in real estate, but aren't sure how to get started. I talk to a lot of students that say, I wanted to get into real estate, but nothing hit me the right way. And yet Mom's House is different. They're saying Mom's House hit me differently in the heartstrings. And I said, good, that's the point. If you are too transactional and you don't care about people, you only care about bricks and sticks, there's 100 other ways to do real estate, go do those. But if you care about people, this can be perfect for you. A lot of times in today's world, we got into real estate because we wanted to buy houses, and yet you figured out really quickly, you're actually in the marketing business. And so if your marketing efforts don't give you the results that they once did, I'm telling you now that, guys, this is something you can sink your teeth into. You can get away completely from direct response marketing. You can build a business that comes directly to you with less competition. And so one of my favorite quotes is, don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it. And what do I mean by that is, let me take, thank you. What I mean by that is the yellow book. Do you guys know what this is? If you're under 35, you might not know what a yellow book is or a phone book, but it's this giant book that had all the phone numbers in it, right? In that book, we used to advertise $20,000 a year in advertising costs in the phone book. Today, we spend zero. Why is that? Because things change. The marketing that worked back then doesn't work today, and that's what's happening right now with most. If you're listening to this, you're probably an investor that's saying, hey, my marketing efforts don't give me the results that they once did. I need something new. And I'm here to tell you, you can stop making this business so hard. You can bring your marketing budget down to zero. You can be the only investor working these deals. And here's a big one. This is something you can be proud of. Helping seniors is very fulfilling. I don't hear the F word very often when it comes to real estate. That fulfillment that I get from helping seniors, helping the adult children, the 65-year-old daughter, Judy, helping her 85-year-old mother move into senior living. They need help. And I take great pride and fulfillment in helping these families. And so this is something you can build that's sustainable and certain. That's what I know, is that people will continue to age. So why am I here today? Why am I giving you guys my best kept secret? Is because we have nationwide relationships in the senior living world. They trust us to help these families, to serve these families because of this senior transition specialist training. We need you to help us serve these families who are transitioning their parents into senior living. And I can't be everywhere at once, and we have more opportunity than we can handle ourselves. We need a bigger boat. We need more people to help us, and these leads are coming in at a national level. And so I want to teach you about this, how to go out and build these relationships that come directly to you, and I want you to help us work with our leads that we get nationwide. And so what is a senior transition specialist? What do those letters mean? We call them an STS. It's someone who builds relationships with key stakeholders in the senior living world, and I'll show you who they are. They help seniors and the adult children of seniors through a very difficult time to unlock their cash needed to pay for long-term care so they can move mom into senior living quicker. This is someone who buys houses from seniors. And guys, when you buy houses, when you have a lead source, not all of them are going to hit your buy box, and that's okay. When you have a lead source, I don't care if you keep them as rentals. I don't care if you wholesale them. I don't care if you rehab them or tear them down and build a new one. When you have a lead source, you get to pick and choose what you want to do with those houses. Have a buy box and then wholesale off the rest, or once you have that lead source, it will change your life because now you're in the driver's seat of what you want to do with those houses. If you don't have someone to sell the houses to, we have a nationwide buying network that are looking for deals. And so if you just wanted to wholesale them back to our network, that is the potential of what we do here at Mom's House. So over the past 3 years, we have been building relationships in the senior living world, this huge $340 billion world of senior living. And because of our certification, because of what we're talking about today, for those people that take this seriously and want to get involved in Mom's House, you will have access to work with these families that are coming through our nationwide network. And that is what we're looking for today. Some of these, I can pick any one of those out and tell you exactly what they do. A lot of these are CRMs for the senior living world. And so they have a few thousand communities that use their CRM. And in that has been, Mom's House has been interjected into this, the sales process of senior living. When they're discovering about the family and they say, are you going to need to sell this house before you can move in? They plug us in, they give us that family to work with so we can go out and make them an offer on their house. They literally set it on a pedestal for us, and it's a great way to do real estate. So why become a senior transition specialist? It's sustainable. People are going to continue to age. It's growing like no other sector in real estate that I've ever found. It's something where you can still be first to market. We've been doing it for 3 years, but you can still be first to market. That's how vast this community needs to grow. Like I said, here in my own market, I only know 10 communities out of the 300. So I barely scratched the surface in my own area after 10 years. It's fulfilling to help others. I love that F word, that the fulfillment is something we should all think about in our lives. Do I have enough fulfillment? Do I enjoy what I do? Life is short, so you better find something that you enjoy doing. There's great money in what I do. There's multiple profit centers in doing this. And it's something you can be proud of. Helping seniors sounds a lot different than I put up bandit signs at 3 a.m. And so why become a senior transition specialist? You get to set your own hours. Everyone that I work with is thankful. They might be a little sad that they're moving mom into senior living, but that's the point. We're trying to help them through that tough time. They're thankful to work with me. There's really not a limit to the income you can make. You can build as many relationships as you want, and you're truly helping people. Did you guys know that moving mom or dad into a senior living community, that the average cost of that is $6,000 a month? Think about right now, if you had to move your mother into senior living, does she have $6,000 a month? 95% of Americans do not have that. Some families have a lot of money, but 95% do not. Most families have to sell their forever home to move into senior living. These families have to liquidate their assets before they can ever qualify for things like Medicaid. They have to spend down their money, their assets, before they can receive government funds. And that's the way it should be, obviously. But the point is that that sale of the house is happening way before death. This pre-probate world is happening way before that, to the tune of 21 million people over the next 20 years. And so this usually happens quickly because of a sudden occurrence. What does that mean? It's a lot of times it's a fall. Mom fell again, and this time she has to have hip surgery, and she's going to live. And 3 weeks after she gets out of rehab, the doctor says she can't live on her own anymore, and she has to move. Talk about pressure. Talk about real motivation. I've never seen anything with more motivation than working in senior living. Here's something crazy, guys. The communities don't actively help. The communities who sell housing don't actively help with the housing they're in now. They are passive about it. They are in the care business. They're not in the real estate business. And they literally spend millions of dollars a month to have people come in and do tours at their communities, only to push them back out the door and say, go find a real estate agent. And when you figure that out, come back and see us. Please, please come back and see us. So here's the problem with that. Daughter Judy here that you see on the table, she's being drawn and quartered. And we're going to focus on the word quarter today. Judy's being pulled in 4 literal directions. The top left is the horse that's mom. It's pulling her and saying, can you please take me back home? I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go back to my house. And daughter Judy knows that she can't take mom back home because of the doctor's orders. Top right corner is the community itself. They want to know exactly how you're going to give them $6,500 a month when mom only has a few $1,000s in checking. Where is the $6,500 a month going to come from? And that pressure is on daughter Judy as well. The bottom right is daughter Judy's brothers and sisters who live halfway across the country and are questioning every decision that daughter Judy makes, the one that's in town, the one that's helping mom with all of these things. And then the fourth horse is daughter Judy's needy husband and her kids. Remember, daughter Judy had a full-time life going on before mom had to move, before mom fell down. She's being pulled in 4 different directions, literally, and she feels like she can't do anything right. It's one of the most stressful times in anyone's lives. And guys, guess what happens? When the real estate agent shows up to the house and says, clean this place out, this house that mom's lived in for 40 or 50 years, that is a huge undertaking before we go ahead and rehab it so we can get top dollar. So in a time when mom needs money, who's going to pay for the rehab? Guys, literally, where do you think the 5th rope goes whenever the real estate agent comes in and says, clean this place out and do this rehab before we sell it? It goes around daughter Judy's neck. And daughter Judy says, hold on, I got enough going on. There's enough on my plate. I don't want to rehab this house. I need money right now. It's not time to spend money. I'm not trying to be a contractor here. That's where mom's house was born. And so luckily for us, every house we go by in real estate looks exactly like this house right here. Right, guys? You guys know I'm joking. If every house looked like this mansion here, we would have very little to do in real estate. Yet we're looking for houses that, have you guys ever seen a house on meth? Here's a house on meth. And of course, I'm joking here, but the point is, guys, we're looking for houses that we can add value to. And the houses that have been lived in for 40 or 50 years, even if they kept it up, even if they kept it grandma clean, they're usually dated and not ready for today's retail market. And so if every house looked like that, we'd have very little to do, but we're looking for houses that we can add value to as real estate investors. Now, what happens when the real estate agent shows up and they walk into the house and, when they see a living room like this, do you think they say, hey, tomorrow we'll be here with the camera crew and we'll take pictures and we'll have this online by the weekend? The answer is, of course not. The first thing they'll say is you have to clean this place out. Not every house is hoarded the way this one is, but a lot of them are just not even close to retail ready. The adult children on average, listen to this, they live 400 miles away. So imagine trying to clean a house out and rehab it when you live 400 miles away. And at a time when mom needs money, think about this literally, who's going to pay for that rehab? And not every hoarder is the same. When you look at this picture, this was one house, by the way. He had over 50,000 things, tchotchkes, 50,000 of them. And while he's not quite a hoarder, what do you call a hoarder that you like? I would call him an aggressive collector. And so even in a house like this is very nice, it's not even close to retail ready because you would want to get all of these items that have value either sold, cataloged, out of the house. It's a giant undertaking to get even this house ready for the market. So guys, the growth is obvious. How many senior living communities are in your town? When you look it up later today, you're going to be surprised how many are there. In my metro area, we actually have over 300 now. And, over 10,000 people a day are turning 65. Almost 15,000 people a day are turning 75. The long-term care spending is going from almost 220 billion up to 346 billion by the year 2040. It's talking about that, what they say, the transfer of wealth that's going to happen. I truly think you're not going to receive that transfer of wealth. Your parents are going to live longer, and the cost of care, I should say, is going to keep going up, and they're going to sell their home, and they're going to use that money to pay for their own care, and that transfer of wealth is going to be burned up in your parents' care. And it should be that way, right? It's their money, but the cost of care is going to continue to eat away at their total net worth. How big is this going to get? Guys, look at the year 1960, how many people were over the age of 80 in our country compared to what it's going to be in the year 2060. We literally went from a pyramid to a rectangle shape. And that is, we're not even close to the year 2060. It's only, midway here in the early 2020s that we're in this. And so this is going to continue to grow. That's my point of this. This is not trendy or sexy what we do here, guys. This silver tsunami is coming for the next 20 years. And right now, you get to be part of something that's going to grow for the next 20 years. That is awesome. If you've built your whole business around text message blasting, you're probably out of business already because people are getting sued for doing spam or cold texting people, right? That's not something that's sustainable over the next 20 years, but this is. So what I do is perfect for today. I mainly work from home. It's a service that I provide to these families. I spend 1 to 8 hours with each family, and my average profit is over $15,000. And if you wholesale like I do a lot, you don't have to have an upfront investment. It's true. You don't have to have credit or money to buy these houses outright. You can wholesale in this business. You can keep your cash if you use our nationwide network, which I'll show you how to get access to. Hero is a pretty big word. It's a grandiose word. And so I don't know if we're necessarily a hero, but let me explain it to you. We're not the doctor that said mom can't move back home. We're not the finance director who said this place is $6,500 a month and how are you going to pay for it? We're not the clean out company that said, hey, all your stuff is not worth what you thought it was. And we're not the real estate agent that says, hey, before we ever list this, you have to get this house up to date. We're not putting all those pressures on the family. We get to be the easy button. And I've gotten many, many hugs from people that say, you mean I don't have to come back here ever again? I'm like, no, you do not. I'll be there in 3 weeks to close on your house and you guys can put this to bed. They're looking for something to go right in their lives when so many things are going wrong. It's a very, I always say, guys, that I've learned that families that get along don't get along during this process. That's how tumultuous it is. And so that's why with our training that we have, the senior transition specialist that we're training them nationwide, that's why this industry trusts us with that sales process, because we know we're going to go out and put people first, try to, I always say lovingly, sit on the same side of the table with them and figure out what is the best case or use for this house. How can we buy it where they don't have to do all the work to get the house ready for the market? And so years ago, guys, I was spending 20, 30 grand a month on marketing. And I remember what it feels like to spend that money and hope that it comes back to you. You lay on your pillow at night and say, if I just get one deal done, right? We justify so many things by getting one deal done. And so I don't fear failure, but I do fear being in the exact same place next year as I am today. And so what I don't want is for you guys to hear this today and say, I was on listening to a guy talk about this and I should have listened. That's not what I want. I don't want you to even buy this program for shelf esteem. I want you to actually go out and implement it. Why? Because this is where the future of real estate is right now and will be for the next 15 to 20 years. It's the biggest returns I've seen for small effort. I live a life by design. I feel sorry for those people that brag about working 90 hours a week. I'm like, why is that a brag? I like to hang out with my 2 sons. I love to play sports. I love to hang out with my wife. And I work very few hours when your business comes to you. So you have to go out and build those relationships first. But when you do, I always say 20 is plenty. If you have 20 of the right relationships in senior living, you'll have a business that comes directly to you. So with this senior transition certification training, you get to be the solution for the families. You get to be the solution for the senior living industry, the communities themselves, and you get to be the real estate investor that you always wanted to be. I mean, don't you dream about having them chase you instead of you having to spend so much money on spray and pray methods? So that's why I'm here today, to show you guys a business system that gives you those deals without the competition that's so common in our real estate world that we live in. The Senior Transition Specialist certification will teach you exactly who to build meaningful relationships with, so you don't have to guess like I did back in 2011 when I started. I wasted a lot of time with the wrong people. I'm going to teach you what to say to them so that they will want you to be their ongoing resource. Guys, I'm going to spend a lot of time on telling you what not to say to them. Senior living has its own language, and it can be it can feel like it's above your head. But with my training, you won't feel that way, because you're going to know how to come from the right place, a place of giving, not from taking, like a lot of real estate agents do. I'm going to show you exactly what to say and what not to say. I'm also going to teach you the exact right time to contact them. By the way, anyone listening today, it's not walking in the front door and putting your hand out like I tried back in 2011. That's not the right way to do this. It's not while they're at the office. I'm going to show you exactly where to find them. It's not by walking in the front door. I'm going to show you how to build a real estate business that comes directly to you, not from one time. You know, that's the cool thing about this, guys. I truly don't know the lifetime value of my relationships because I'm still doing deals with them today. And so in your local market, think about what your average profit is. You know, this can change your life. For a lot of people, let's just make it super simple. If you did one deal a month and your average profit was 15 grand, like the industry standard, that's 180 grand a year. And anyone really in real estate knows that one deal a month is basically a part-time job. That's only 12 deals a year. And when you don't have to share all your money with Google pay-per-click, and split, sometimes I've heard people say it costs them $7,000 to acquire a house using pay-per-click without having to have that partner, because it comes directly to you. You get to keep all of your profits. You can drive your marketing budget down to zero, like we talked about. If you're looking to build a rental portfolio, this is great for that. If you're looking to wholesale, this is great for that. Can we fund your projects? We have nationwide funding for anyone that's part of our Senior Transition Specialist Network. Here's what I know, guys. You can't use Google to go out and find a list of Daughter Judys. If you could, I'd be the first guy to buy it, because these are where the best leads come from. You can't use Google to be part of my trusted network. You have to become a Senior Transition Specialist. You can't use Google to be behind the curtain of trust in the senior living world, in our Senior Transition Network. You have to become a Senior Transition Specialist. Here's one of my students, Matt. We have a video of this. We don't have time to play it today, but he was able to help a lady move from California to Arizona, and he made $42,000 on one deal helping a family. Then you've got Heather. She just made $104,000 on a rehab deal from helping a family. You get to help people and make a great living. This is great for anyone that wants to help a lot and to make a lot. And so the fastest and easiest way to build this business, guys, is to have partnerships like you today with Mom's House. We have over $1 billion of buying power. We have a proven system that works. You just have to follow the system to have the success. But here's what you have to have, guys. You have to have these two qualities to be successful at this. You have to love real estate, and you have to love helping others. And I would say that the second thing there actually comes before the first. You have to love helping others. And if you do, the real estate deals are right there behind it. I promised you earlier that I would tell you why these are the best leads, the best families to work with. There's 10 reasons. And by the way, if you know of a better lead source than this, can you please call me? Because I'm a full-time real estate investor. This is what I do. Please tell me about it, because I would want to implement it in my own business. And I'll take the Pepsi challenge with anyone. These are the 10 characteristics of a Mom's House lead. Number one, they are motivated. These seniors, they trust their doctors, their lawyers, and their priests, right? So when the doctor says mom has to move into senior living, they listen. They have equity, guys. 90% of the time, they own the house outright. Sometimes they have a small second or what's called a reverse mortgage, but they have equity in their homes. Number three, these are houses we can add value to. We're looking for houses that we can add value to. If every house was retail ready, we'd have very little to do. Fortunately for us, these houses are the ones that they've lived in for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years sometimes. And so that's the houses that we can add value to. Number four is a big one. There's less competition. It's usually me against nobody, or maybe me versus a real estate agent, but our value prop is very different. So I take that on anytime. I can show them on paper why my offer is better for them at that moment without all the work. Number five to me is the most important. When you build relationships, when they know, like, and trust you in the senior living world with the people, the 11 different job titles that I'm going to teach you about, when they know, like, and trust you, they're going to put you on a pedestal the way my business is today, and half the battle is already won. They want to work with me. They're getting advice from someone that they're getting their mother or father's end-of-life care advice from, somebody they already know, like, and trust. They give us that warm transfer of trust, and it makes it very easy to go buy houses. Number six, look at this one. If this wasn't good enough already, number six is that these leads are free. Can you believe it? When you go out and you build relationships in senior living with the right people, and those leads come directly to you, you get these leads for free, because you are helping the industry be more lubricated to get them to that final destination from where they are now to where they're going to live. Also, this is a reoccurring lead source. Imagine doing a direct mail campaign in 2011 that still got you deals in 2023. Well, that's how my business has been, because I'm building oil wells that continue to pump families to me over and over and over again. The eighth reason why is the fulfillment. I get to see the weight come off of their shoulders. They're in one of the toughest times of their lives, and I get to help with one part of it. There's a lot going on besides the house, and I'm going to teach you about a lot of those things, those multiple profit centers, but I focus on the house. In the end, you're going to get to still be the real estate expert that you've always wanted to be with the side of senior living. And so that fulfillment of helping others, if that's something interesting to you, that comes in spades here in this type of business. It's very different than other types of real estate. Number 9, it works in any economy. I don't care who the president is. I don't care what the economy is doing. People will continue to age, and they will continue to move into senior living over the next 15 to 20 years, and that is where my business is. The market size, how big this opportunity is. We heard earlier, there's over 21 million houses that are going to be sold this way over the next 20 years. This is where real estate inventory is going to come from, and these are the 10 characteristics of why a Mom's House lead are the best that I've ever found. So here's my fear. You're hearing me today, you're like, you've learned quite a bit about this industry, or why this is so important. And a lot of people say, oh, yeah, it's so obvious when you hear it put that way. Why isn't anyone else doing this, is what I've heard, right? Well, here's my fear. I know the picture's funny, but just trying to wing it, you're going to put your foot in your mouth, even with a kind heart. You're going to put your foot in your mouth without even knowing you're doing it. I've spent the past decade perfecting this system. All of my mistakes are in there. Everything I've said is because of my mistakes. A lot of people will walk in the front door and say, I'm an investor, I'm a realtor. And both of those things are the wrong way to do this. Even though you might be like me, you might be an investor, which I am, and you might be a real estate agent just like I am. But that is not the way to break into senior living. I want to help you save yourself the embarrassment so you can do it the right way the first time. I want to make sure that you don't fail out of the gate. That's the saddest part here. There's such a huge opportunity. Imagine if you burned a relationship that could give you 3, 4, 5 deals a year for the next 15 years. What is that lifetime value of that relationship worth to you, guys? I mean, it's just a crazy high number. It's worth it for you to take your time and build these relationships the right way. And so, like I said, don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it. You can truly build a business where the best leads in real estate come directly to you. So obviously, guys, today talking about this, I can't show you everything that I've learned in this crazy business of real estate, the business that I love, in less than this hour that we're going to be together. And so that's why we've created the Senior Transition Certification. I'm going to teach you how to separate yourself from the crowded old school investor marketing world. I'm going to teach you how to stand out from the we buy ugly houses type, so you don't have to be negative about these houses. In fact, you should be the opposite. You're trying to help them sit on the same side of the table with them as a family and make a good life decision. I'm going to show you how to drive your marketing budget down to zero, and I'm going to show you how to help others while still making a great living. So everything in the certification, here's what you get. We're going to go over that right now. You're going to get these Senior Transition Specialist certification. So you will literally have this to use in your social media. You're going to be able to show the world that you've taken this seriously, that you've gotten this certification, that you've learned about how to help seniors in this time of need. And that alone is worth the price of admission. You get the official Senior Transition Specialist branding guide and templates. Why is that important? How we present ourselves to the world is super important. People will judge us based on how we present ourselves. So I'm going to show you exactly how to represent yourself to the senior living industry so that you can show that to them that you're a valuable partner and trustworthy partner. They only work with who they know, like, and trust. I'm going to help you get to that T word as quickly as possible. The full Senior Transition Certification curriculum, take a deep dive into our 3-part, 24-module training on how to master this strategy and how to build a lifelong lead source, creating value for yourself and the communities. Literally going to give you the 10-step action plan, that my playbook, a step-by-step guide of what will give you the confidence to immediately implement this system in your local market. We're going to talk about my unique selling strategies that allowed me to close more deals while ultimately helping more families. It's a very exciting and fun way and unique way to do this business. And it's so obvious. If you're still listening to me right now, you're kind of starting to see like, hey, that makes a lot of sense. That's obviously where people need to sell their house. It's the flashpoint of when they need to sell their house. And if you want to be part of this, it's a great way to get crystal clear on your mindset for the life that you want, for the mission that we're doing here at Mom's House. You can be part of this huge community that we're all here to help each other, to help these daughter Judys, these adult children, these seniors, these families over the next 15 to 20 years. For as long as I want to be in real estate, this will be a viable way to help families. We're going to talk about the 11 different job titles. Why is that important? Well, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, those 11 job titles are very different people. They're very different humans. You don't have one elevator pitch for all 11. All 11 have a different what's in it for them. And I'm going to show you exactly how to angle your pitch to them so that they see what's in it for them. Because in the end, that's all people care about. How can you make their life better? How can you make their customers' life, the seniors that they're helping, how can you fix a problem that they have every day in their senior living world? And that's what becoming a senior transition specialist will teach you to do. We use the word 20 is plenty. What the heck does that mean, right? So I'm going to show you exactly the complete walkthrough of how to build out your custom, localized potential referral partner. So that way, when you're out networking, you'll be very different than I was back in 2011. I just went out to lunch and coffee with everyone that would say yes to me. I'm going to teach you exactly who to build relationships with. So that way you can cut down the learning curve and get right to building meaningful relationships. So that way your business can chase you. I'm going to teach you who to talk to, how to find them, and what to say. We even have a keyword search guide. So that way you can figure out exactly who you're going to go after, where to find them, how to network with them. And I'm going to help you fill up your 20 is plenty list very quickly. We also have the call scripts and the icebreakers. Don't think you can just walk into senior living and you can wing it. We're going to give you the copy and paste script so you can have success right away, so you can feel confident in your approach. You will put your foot in your mouth without even trying, without these scripts. So guys, this is worth the price of admission alone, just that itself. Get access to the senior transition community. We use something called School, and it's access to the vast resources in our senior transition specialist certified network. So you can ask the questions, or you can join the pop-up coaching calls that we have. We don't want you to sit in silence. We want you to be part of this community. Ask your questions so we can all grow together. No big drum roll for what we do here. It's very, very affordable. I want you to get certified today. In fact, I don't even need a yes today. I need a maybe. What do I mean by that? Our price is only a one-time investment of $497. There's no continuing fees. Guys, think if you even did one deal from this, how valuable that would be to you. Go ahead and click on the link that you see to get started. We would love to have you become part of this. And what do I mean by that is that we have a money-back guarantee. If you don't feel like you got 10 times your value back, we will give you your $497 back. That's how confident we are in this product. Let's keep going as to what this product is. Bonus number one, we have the live pop-up coaching calls with Mom's House team to get all of your questions answered. You should never suffer in silence. If you have that question, that means somebody else going through this as a senior transition specialist also does. So we have the pop-up coaching calls. We have the credibility packet. Guys, we used to sell this credibility packet for $997, just the credibility packet. It's a resource to quickly build your credibility, not only in the senior industry, but any real estate that you buy. This is going to set the seller at ease that you're seriously in this business. And so that credibility packet is included. Bonus number two. Bonus number three, we use a CRM called REI Black Book. We would love it in our business. It has really good follow-up tools and a lot of the things that you need to build a real business in real estate. And so we want to go ahead and give you a 1-month free trial of REI Black Book included in this deal. Bonus number four, access to our vast funding network. So many people haven't done a deal yet. They're one of their biggest self-limiting beliefs that they have is that no one's ever going to give them money. And here's what I want you to know. Maybe that's true. They're not going to give you money, but they're going to give money to a deal. Money chases deals all day long. There's so much money out there that doesn't know what to do with itself, and they're looking for deals. And so they will fund deals when they're deals. And so we have access to a funding network that's nationwide that you can have access to when you become a senior transition specialist. You get the official senior transition specialist certification. You get the branding guide and templates. You get the full 3-part curriculum, so over 15 hours of content. You get my 10-step action plan, so you can go out and implement this right away. You get to learn my unique selling strategies of how to help the family. Empathy training is built into this. Yes, if you don't know if you have empathy, go ask your partner. If you do, they'll tell you right away if you have empathy or not. But you do need to have empathy to be successful at this. I'm going to give you the guide to the 11 different job titles, the different roles in senior living. So you have an elevator pitch for each one, not just one generic one, but knowing what's in it for them. I'm going to teach you how to build your 20 is plenty with that quick start guide so you know exactly who to laser focus your attention to when you're out networking. It's something I wish I would have had in 2011. It would have saved me a lot of time and effort. And also the call scripts of what to say. You get all of that for $497 plus those bonuses, the live pop-up coaching calls, the credibility packet that you can use for any real estate deal, not just senior living. You can get access to our funding network and access to our senior transition specialist community. All of that for $497. How would you guys like to be part of something like this? It's a sustainable business in any economy. It's something you can be proud of to tell your family about. You can make deals consistently and constantly come directly to you where they chase you. You get 90% of your time back when you're not out doing marketing efforts right anymore, but you're going to go back out and network and building meaningful relationships. You can drive your monthly marketing budget down to zero, which will give you some certainty in this uncertain world. And so, guys, you've got two choices here. You can do nothing and continue to work the same list you're already working, just like everyone else does, or you can act now and start working on this fastest growing niche in real estate. The choice is up to you. I talked about this before earlier. If after you take our class, you go through all the training, if you're not completely satisfied and felt like you didn't get 10 times your value, we will write you a check on site to give you that $497 back right there. We only want people that want to be part of this, and we know how valuable our content is. That's why we have a money-back guarantee just like this, because we're that confident in this training. Guys, this is a simple process when you know exactly who to put on your 20 is 20 list. And it's a simple process when you know exactly where they are and exactly what to say to them. I'll teach you how to ask for the sale on your first interaction.
The quality of the content that we received over the 3-day training. I think it equipped us with the skills, the tools, and the confidence necessary to go out there and develop these relationships, do it the right way, do it from the heart, and also be profitable.